It's pronoun.
There you
Okay.
go.
What's up? Hello, Facebook and YouTube. All right.
Hey,
Let's
Facebook
go live
family. Hey, you
on.
too.
All right, and I'm going live right now on Instagram. All right, guys. What's up? It's your boy Chef Jay and Natalie Lee Martin, the life coach to everybody out here in these streets. Guys, please like and
Yeah,
share this video.
please do.
Like and share this video. Yeah. All right, so you gotta go live on Instagram, Natalie.
Yes, I
What's
am.
up, everybody? Come on, Natalie, waiting for you to get live on
I'm
here.
coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Here I
All right,
am. Let's
so
go. I see you. Uh-oh. I just joined. Do I
all
have to
right, I see you
request?
waving
I
out
think
here.
I
What's up, fam? All right.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
We
Are you
are
on?
live. Let's
There
go.
you
I'm
go.
coming. Here I am. You see me. There we go. Hey,
There you go.
y'all.
I got you. I question: does anybody hear feedback? Does anybody hear feedback? Anybody hear feedback on any of the lives on Instagram or Facebook? Anybody
Yeah,
hear
let us know
any
if you hear any
feedback?
feedback.
What happened?
I don't hear any feedback. I'm good on
Okay,
my
good.
end.
All right, so what's up, everybody? So we're going live for the month of April.
April.
All right, good. What's up,
Yeah.
Willard? One of my old students on live. Um, so me and Natalie have been friends for man, I've known since I was 10 years old.
Yes.
So we've grown
Don't tell
as
them how
over
old I
20
was.
something years. So we've been cool for a pretty long time, and we've been always the focus on our business has always been about faith. It's been a big part of our conversation and
Mhm.
about entrepreneurship. So
Mhm.
we're coming together to talk about just some really important topics for this month. And I know, Natalie, what's this one topic that we're talking about right now with the
So April is National Stress Awareness Month, and so we want to bring awareness for those entrepreneurs that are going through difficult times. Because let's be honest, entrepreneurship is brutal. It is
yes,
not an easy process, and you will get stressed if not on a daily basis, from time to time because of all the things that you have to endure in order to be successful in this arena. So we are coming together during this month every Wednesday for Wisdom Wednesdays to drop some nuggets and some gems for y'all because, be honest, we love y'all and we want to see y'all succeed in entrepreneurship like we are. So we're
yes.
here.
And that's the key part about it too, is just like I think a lot of times, especially in my field as a culinary
Mhm.
artist, uh, everybody's in competition, and it's like, fam, we're not in competition. We're supposed to be growing together,
Wow.
And it's just like I can like and share your post. So let me talk about how can we work together to bring these strong points together so we can work together as a team. It
Mhm.
doesn't always have to be a competition thing, but let's work together to build each other up.
Wow, that's so good. But listen, entrepreneurship was built on competition. Like we
Yeah,
live in a capitalistic society and we don't realize what that means. It's like when they started this thing, it was to compete with each other so that they can have the lowest prices
mm,
with the cheapest made products. So we have to know the spirit in which we are entering into, but we
yeah,
don't have to continue that process. We don't have to compete with each other. Instead of
yeah.
competing with other chefs, why not collaborate? Why not do
And
something dope together?
And that's the best thing part about it too. And is I think sometimes too is when you are in business by yourself, it's very easy to burn yourself out because you're trying to do everything when you really
Yeah.
can't do everything.
No.
You cannot do everything. And it's okay to say, hey, I can't do everything. But I think
Mhm.
as you start to learn as an entrepreneur, you really start to figure out how to really function and
Mhm.
be successful and not
Mm.
be stressed out.
Wow. How to function, be successful, and not be stressed out. That's good.
Yeah, all in one setting. All of that in one setting.
For real. We're not gonna give you all today because we know that's a lot, but we're just gonna give you a little bit at a time so that you can digest and apply the information. Because listen, let's be honest, a lot of people gain information, but they don't apply it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So
Like,
we want to
and
give you
it's like
enough.
it's even too like especially like growing up in the church that we grew up in, we had to have a
Mhm.
notebook. So when pastor would preach, we would have our notes out, we would keep writing it. But the thing about it is, for how many people does this notebook stay closed throughout the week?
Oh, so you
So
just
how
gonna come
many?
for everybody at the
No,
beginning
I
of this
know, but
thing?
it's being no, it's being real. It's just like
Yeah,
a
you're
lot of times
right.
too. It's just like we take the notes, we go to the events, we hear these, we watch different content, but how often do we apply it to our actual business?
Mm.
So I think what I had to learn too is just that, especially like when I went to college. I went to Johnson& Wells. I had my business beforehand, but when I went to college, one of my mentors said, Josh, don't go there with a big head, but be
Mm-hmm.
like a sponge, ready to absorb everything. And I
Mm.
think that's the part about when it comes to just like really entrepreneurship is just like, hey, you know what? I don't have to do everything, but let me know when to appropriate what I've learned. Because the content, it may not be for now. What you
Mm-hmm.
learn maybe for years down the road, but you always want to keep applying what you're learning. Like just don't learn it, just not to just okay, I got the information, so let me soak in all information but not use it. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
like you want to be like a sponge where you're regurgitating it out every time you're squeezed
Mm.
out, you're
That's
able
so
to
good.
use that information and to really capitalize and to make it really work for you and your business.
That's so good. I utilize that same process because I know I read a lot of books. Being an
Yeah.
entrepreneur is like new to me. I'm fairly new. I've been in education for about 20 years, and coming into this field, I didn't know the foundation of business. And so I needed to go back to school and kind of learn that.
Yeah.
And my mindset now is every time I read a book or anytime I read something new, let me take one thing that I can apply to it,
Hmm.
at least one thing, and I'm going to immediately implement the one thing that I've learned. Because if I don't start implementing things, it's just like you said, it's going to stay in the notebook and it's not going to be of any use anyway. So
Yeah,
my
and you're the
mindset
ultimate
is,
student. Like you're the ultimate
listen.
student, and like even too, like you've always been able to receive advice from people as
Mhm.
well as still give advice, but not to say, "Well, I know that already." Like because some
Mhm.
stuff you may hear again, it doesn't mean for you to say, "I
Mhm.
know it already." It's like maybe let me process this to see why I'm hearing this information again.
That's so good.
We're supposed to be forever students, but as well as being a student, also be a practicer and a someone who really goes out and do what you're learning. Like there's
Mm.
a big difference. A lot of people they just learn a lot of information, but it's like with that learning, what are we going to do to apply it?
Ooh, that's so good. Listen, Napoleon Hill has a quote. He says, "Knowledge is not power. Applied now knowledge
Yeah,
is
that's good.
power." So
That's
you
good.
don't just get power just because you know something. What are you doing with what you know? That's how you get the power.
Oh, that's good. And so
Mhm.
going into one of our topics today is so I want to ask you a question, Natalie. So every single morning, because first of all, when Natalie, she ain't no kids. Now Natalie got a whole husband. She got 5 kids. It's a lot of personalities going on, and she has to deal with coaching clients. So I don't think people realize as an entrepreneur, you got to deal with a lot of different energies, and it's up to you to really start to really
Mhm.
focus on. Okay, so today, how am I going to navigate through my day? So Natalie, the question for you is, how do you start your morning effectively and on purpose?
So I start my morning at 4 o'clock every day. And
Oh,
let me
that's
tell
early.
you,
I
it
still
is
sleep
early.
then.
It is very early. When I was in 2017, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, God told me, He was like, look, you need to really set up a routine. The way that you're operating and functioning is out of lack, and you need to set up more of a structure for you because you keep
Mhm.
thinking about what do I need to do in real time. And that's wasting a lot of mental energy. So
I
after
feel it.
listening to ET for such a long time, and he wakes up at 3 o'clock, I was like, I can't do three, but I could do four. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and for the first hour, I'm praying and I'm seeking, the face of the Father, seeking God. And then at 5, I go into self-reflection and I work out. Now, I had some trauma that happened for a year and I didn't work out, but I started getting back into my routine. And so 4, pray, 5, self-reflection and work out. 6 o'clock, I get a shower, get dressed. 7 o'clock, I get the kids out the door to get them to school, get them on the bus. By 8 o'clock, I'm sitting and I am going through emails and sending out newsletters. And by 9 o'clock, my day is like my work day is kind of like starting, but not really starting, if that makes sense. I'm already like midday by 9 a.m. into my workday. So I get to end my workday at 2:30, to be honest.
And that's good. And the thing about it too, I do love that you set time for your family. Like after
Hmm.
a time is like,
Yeah,
nah, fam.
that's it.
You may do a few things, but you're really big on cultivating your family life. And I appreciate that so much. And I think too that's really hard, like for me
It's
especially
hard.
because for me, like, I quit a job every now and then. Like I'm a little
Wow.
quitter. So sometimes for me, it is very difficult to establish a schedule because now what I have done is I make sure I try to keep physical work on the
Mm,
weekend. So gigs, I may have a
ooh,
few
that's
throughout the
good.
week, but I try to do gigs throughout the week. No gigs on the week. I just focus on content during the week. So the way I
That's
start my
good.
day is Now the time may vary. I'm not there with the time yet. I'm not there with the 4 a.m. For me, it depends on what time I go to bed because a lot of times too, I feel like for me, I'm usually a night owl. Well, I'm up all times of the day actually, but for me is I try to get myself focused. I'm usually going in the bed like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes midnight. I feel
Mhm.
like I get the most creative juices flowing during that time because like everything is settled. I'm able to really focus because during the day I have so many things coming at me that it's just like,
Mhm.
okay, I know it's better for me to
Mhm.
work during the late night hours. So I'm
Yeah.
doing content. I'm usually up. So if you see me on Instagram, you'll see my thing says like online because I'm working on content.
Mhm.
Content is my full time job throughout the week. Content as well as talking to my mentees and
Mhm.
working with them. So uh, usually when I'm waking up, I try to journal first. So I write in my journal. I'm
I love
writing down what I'm believing God for, what I want to see happen in the day.
that.
Like
Mhm.
even too, like on this day, let me see. I wrote in here. Got my little notes
That's
right
so
there.
intentional though, with your manifestation journal. I love that.
You tell how beat up is looking too, right? So it says today I am thankful. I celebrate how far I've come and the bright future ahead.
That's
I
good.
make sound decisions and I lead by the Holy Spirit. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I am protected by God and I command angels to go forth as I speak the word over every area of my life. People are looking to bless me. So every day I at least in this journal I at least write a page.
Mhm.
And even I'm like tired. Nope, you gotta write this page, finish this page because what
Yeah.
do you want to see manifest in your life? And it's crazy because the days that I skip is the days that I feel like I need it the most. So I make this mandatory in
Wow.
my life. Also, too, is this is like one of my mentors, Dr. Stacia Pierce, my success
Mhm.
journal. This is so impactful. It's so impactful. I try to do about like 10 to 15 minutes in this a day where it's just different scenarios. Like, for example, it's my success quotes affirmations.
That's
That's
good.
one part of
I
the
love
book.
that.
Another part of the book where I take my notes if I'm reading anything. I also have some things where I love the fact. Oh wait, hold on. This is the other one I'm working on right now. So I'm big on reading books. I'm big on reading
Me
stuff like
too.
that. What I love about this book that she has at the end of each chapter, this is a vision board book.
Wow.
So what you do at the end of whatever the topic is, you put the paper or the pictures of what you want to manifest right in here. So
That's
it's like after
beautiful.
after every chapter, I'm manifesting. After everything I read,
Mhm.
I'm manifesting. Manifesting is like one of the biggest things that I'm really like it's always been a part of my life. And the last book I'm reading right now is The Richest Man in
Oh, I need to
Babylon.
get that one.
So this is so good because you know what it goes through. It's not like a regular book, but it talks about scenarios. Like
Mhm.
it's like one of those interactive books that make you really, really think. Like with the first chapter, these two friends were really contemplating like, why is our life like this?
Mhm. Mhm.
But then they see the richest man in Babylon. They're like, wait, so why don't we just ask him? Are we poor because
Wow.
we've never asked about wealth?
Wow.
And it's so crazy because when you think about stuff like that, it's not that we don't have these things, it's because we don't ask. So when it comes to manifesting, I can't expect, not saying I can't, it would be a poor decision for me to expect what I don't
Oh,
write down, what I don't speak. So speaking what you want to see is so important, even if you don't feel like it. Sometimes I don't feel like writing this down. Sometimes I don't feel like reading this book because this book at first you got to be paying attention. You can't be sleep writing this book because they talking in old English a little bit. So like you can't be sleep reading this
I
book.
love that.
But it's just like what I've learned. You have to be so intentional about
You
everything you
do.
do in your day and manifesting. If you're
You
not
do.
intentional, you don't get you can't reap a harvest of what you didn't sow.
Listen.
And your words are a seed that you have to sow every single day. It can't be like I ain't gonna do it today. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you said something that was so key. You were like, I can't expect, and then you changed it and said, no, no, no. It would be a poor decision of me to expect something to expect a harvest where I did not plant a seed. And the thing about it is our ignorance is the one thing that is causing us to be stressed out is
Yes.
we're ignorant.
Yes.
We don't spend the time to read and invest in knowledge.
Oh yeah. That's and you know what's crazy? Because one thing I'm glad that my mom is a librarian, and one thing she encourages me was
Mm.
always read.
Yes.
When I was a kid, it would be annoying, but as I've gotten older, I realized that taught me so many vocabulary words
Listen.
where I can add that in. So I don't ever have to get bored about what I'm saying because I'm manifesting based off my vernacular ability.
Come.
So when you start to really focus on reading and learning,
Mhm.
you start to see it's like when you first start learning how to pray, right?
Mhm.
You're going to basic prayer like the Our Father prayer, or you're going to really
Mhm.
simple stuff.
Yep.
But
Yep.
once you really start reading the word, you start to really expand your vocabulary to
Listen.
the point where it's like you start exalting, God in your life. It's like, oh man, this started getting good. But you want to learn more. You want to know more. And it goes back to the same thing with business. When it
Mhm.
comes to business, it's like, fam, I want to be so passionate about what I do because first off, too, is your business is not your business. Your business
Mhm.
is a part of your purpose. It's a part of
Yeah.
who you are. It's
A part
my
of your
business is a
calling.
part of my identity. It's
Yes.
not my identity, but it's a part of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because when people see me, they say, "Oh, what up, Chef Jake?" So they know who I am
Mm.
based off what my hands produce. So I want to
Wait,
know
wait,
who
wait. You
I
got to
am
say that
based
one
off the
more
words
time,
I produce.
sir. You got to
What you
say
say?
that one more time. They know me based on what?
I don't know. I don't know what I just said. So no, but I like people know me based off the work that I produce. But
That's
I
it.
want to know myself based off the manifestation and the words that I say about myself. Sometimes it's really easy to get into the system of casa rasa, whatever be will be. Like, that
Mhm.
term. It's so easy to fall into that trap of just letting life happen to you when it's
Yes.
okay for you to happen to life. It's okay.
Ooh, it's okay for you to happen to life. I love that. And the people
Yeah.
don't realize you're manifesting all the time.
Oh
Just
yeah.
because you're not intentional about it does not mean that you're not actually manifesting. So
That's good.
what you say, even when you're not thinking about what you say, is coming to pass. The beauty about establishing these morning routines is I'm now, like you said, I'm now happening to life and I'm not
Yeah.
allowing life to happen to me. So I'm getting ahead of the stress. I'm saying before things start getting stressful, I'm already laying down the foundational work. I am going to
Yeah.
get through this. I'm going to be
That's
a
good.
I'm going to dominate this
That's good.
entrepreneurial space because this is
That's
what God
good.
called me to do.
Yeah.
And he
And
doesn't call you to something to let you just flounder and fail. He's like, I'm calling you to so you could have dominion over this
that's
thing.
good. That's
Woo.
good. And another part about that too that's so ironic. So some of my friends, we have conversations, and I said, you
Mhm.
know what? I said, you're being selfish right now about your gift. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, the reason why I really try to really, I don't want to say persuade, but it's more so persuasive,
Mhm.
you to start a business is because you have a gift, right? I see your
Mhm.
gift. You don't see your gift because you don't know it's a gift. And a lot of people don't even know what they're doing is a gift. That's the first thing.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
people
that's
don't
true.
even know it's a gift.
Yeah.
So when you first start to, and sometimes others will see your gift before you do. So the first
Mhm.
thing with that is, I'm really passionate about telling people about what their gift is because I just see it because you know how it is. People, Host Rule just drops stuff in your like, oh, this person is good at this. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think too is when you've been in education for so long, because we've both been in education,
Yeah,
and
most
I think the
people.
thing about education is you see the other side of people that they don't see. So when
That's
you might
true.
just be in class, I can see like, oh, you're good at this.
Yes,
So when it
yes.
comes to that, we're purposeful at finding potential in people. So the first thing
Mhm.
is I tell people you're being selfish about your gift. And it's like, there are people who are about to commit suicide
Listen.
because you won't go forth in your gift. Because you have the right words, you have the right
Mhm.
business, you have the right fitness routine that's going to change somebody's life. There's somebody who's really, really struggling on the inside
Yeah,
who needs what you have to say and only from
yeah.
you, but they will lose their life. They will go through, like, even so, like, for example, when people come to a dinner party, right?
Mhm.
I'm just not a chef who just makes food. I'm
Yeah,
giving you a
yeah.
whole experience. There's some people who said,
Yes,
Chef,
you
I've
do.
never had a good birthday before. This is the best birthday I've ever
Oh,
had. But
wow.
that means a lot because some people don't feel valued and special by the people
Yes,
who are around them.
yes,
And
yes.
you have the authority and the power just by operating your gift to make someone's day great.
Yeah. That's
And I don't want to
awesome.
take that lightly.
You don't. But people don't realize, like, if you're called to entrepreneurship, if you don't operate in your gift, you're leaving a deficit in the economy.
Oh, that's good.
Because
Yeah.
the businesses are created to help boost the economy.
Hmm.
And when you don't operate in your God-given talent, your God-given gift of entrepreneurship, then you're creating lack. Instead of
Yeah.
creating wealth, you're actually creating lack because you're
That's
not
crazy.
moving when you're supposed to be moving. And like you said, there are people waiting for what you have. And because you're not in position, they're
Yeah.
falling into this ditch because there's something supposed to be there. It's like you're supposed to build a bridge there. And since you haven't built the bridge, you haven't gone forth, people are just falling into the ditch because the bridge is not there. And so
That's good.
we think about ourselves all the time. Like you said, we are selfish. We're
Yeah.
definitely selfish
Yeah.
because we think this business is supposed to make us happy. And Same thing when it comes to, being married or being connected to your life partner. You think that person is supposed to make me happy, when no, we're coming together. This business,
Yeah,
your giftings are coming together to create a solution
that's
to a
good.
problem that either exists currently or will exist in the future. That's another thing people keep forgetting. They have ideas as a visionary. And both of us are visionaries.
Yeah,
We have ideas that are not ready to be put out yet.
yeah,
But certain people are like, okay, I have this idea, I put it out there and it doesn't work. Let me abandon it. And 2 months later,
yeah,
they see somebody else working the same idea
yeah.
that they
That's good.
because sometimes it's before it's time, and you receive that so that you can build upon it. You
Hmm.
can't run an idea as a business. It's not going to happen. But
Oh
you
yeah,
can take that idea and create a whole business around the idea by
that's
implementing
good.
structure, by implementing some systems, by adding some people to it. But you can't take an idea and say, oh, I got an idea. Let me put an LLC next to this idea and think it's going to work. It's not going to happen. You're going to get more stress than you expected.
And you know
So,
what? The good part about it too, everything's not a business. First off, everything's not a
ooh,
business.
yes.
But you know what was no, and it's true though, because even too is like I'll give you a good example. So for example is like when I first started doing private dining, right?
Mhm.
Um Nobody knew I did private dining until like 3 years later. The reason why is I did one party, it came out really, really dope. I said, all right, cool, I'm gonna work with this person, use their crib to do the event space to do events out of. It flopped. It was probably one of the worst.
Mm.
It was probably one of the
Wow.
worst things. But the reason why it wasn't meant for me to work with that person too, it wasn't ready then. So I waited 3 years. But what I did in those 3 years, in the process of waiting, what I did was first I got clarity. We're gonna talk about that part next with clarity.
Woo,
Secondly,
yes.
I started to think about what I wanted to possess. If I want to do private dining, I need tablecloths, I need napkins, I need forks, I need spoons, I need decor. So what I did for 3 years, I brought a storage unit, right?
Come
Barely
on,
had the money
Josh.
for it
Tell
sometimes.
us.
And every single pay period, I brought something from my business. So I brought maybe forks this time. The next time I brought plates. The next time I brought fabric. Next time I brought chairs. Next time I brought tables. For where I didn't even know where I was going yet. I didn't know what I was getting. I
Wow.
just knew that I wanted to be ready for when it was time to come. So when God released me in December 2016, here's what happened. I was at my friend's house for Christmas. First thing that happened was God was like, all right, cool, it's time for you to start looking for a spot to do private dining. That was the first thing. One, because I had clarity. So my mind
Mm.
was at peace. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, all right, cool. The next thing, my friend in the room was like, hey, I'm about to start a videography business. Then the second thing I did was I sowed a seed because he wanted to start his business. So
Come
the
on
first thing
now.
I had to do was sow a seed to somebody else, right? I sowed that seed. Next month, I found the property, that the place I wanted to do it at. I didn't have enough money. But because I sowed that seed, I said, listen, I got seed in the ground that I help somebody else business with. So I know I have everything I need for my business. So when it came to not having the money, the first place closed out. The next, second guy, the guy was like, you know what, bro, I have a new location across the street that'll be perfect for you.
Mm.
When I say it was perfect, it was exactly what I needed for when I needed it. But the thing about it is too is one, I had to create that clarity is so important.
It
Because
is.
what happened is too, sometimes I got frustrated, and then the moment when I was about to give up on it, my friend called me and said, "Yo, I had a dream about this," and she described the whole place, and I knew that this is what it was because I never showed her the place.
Mm-hmm,
So the thing
mm-hmm.
about it was, I had to start saying, "Wow, like when you're about to give up, you have to go back to that place of basics with the clarity." No, let me speak my faith confession. So what I did again was on my steering wheel, I got the
Mm-hmm.
picture of the place, taped it on there. On my
Wow.
refrigerator, I got the picture of the place, taped it on there. In my
I love
classroom,
it.
on my desk, I taped it on there because I had, and this is why I got to do right now and again, do because I'm working on
Yes,
something else
yes,
right now, and I'm
yes.
like, bro, you're getting away from the basic of what you know to
Yes. Go
do
back to the
because you don't got
basics.
clarity.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I'm
Mm.
like, okay, so the next part about it is, especially being stress awareness month, what's causing you stress that's not
Ooh.
allowing you to have clarity?
Let's go.
What is it? You got to figure out. Only you know what's not causing you to have clarity in your life.
Mm-hmm,
Like I
mm-hmm.
can't tell you, Natalie can't tell you. You got to really sit down and be honest with yourself. And I have those moments with myself, and my friends are honest with me too. They're like, "Nah, Joe, bro, that ain't it." But you have to have a circle of clarity, and you have to really take time to sit down, stop moving, and just say, "What's in my life that I need to edit?"
Remove. Yeah.
And Halima edits me all the time, so it's like we have friendships that we have to build that provide us with clarity.
Mm-hmm. Now, as the soon to be number one clarity coach in the world, I can tell you where you lack in clarity. I'm gonna just get there
So
right.
why is clarity important, Natalie? Why is it important to you, clarity?
See, clarity is important because when you lack clarity, you're building a foundation that's gonna soon crumble.
That's
So
good.
you need to have clarity to make sure the foundation is solid, to
Yeah.
make sure that you're moving towards the right vision. Because as visionaries, we have a lot of things going on in our mind at the same time. And like you said, the clarity definitely comes from within.
Yeah.
And there is a one message that all of us carry. I don't even know how to think about it. It's like a well-oiled machine. Every part of the machine has one part, a very important part to play. And if one part of the machine doesn't work, the whole thing could crumble.
That's good.
So you have to make sure that your part is super clear, it's super sharp, so that when you're moving forward, especially as a business owner, you can't do everything. That's one thing I had to figure out. Like, I can't do everything. I wanted to be the mom CEO coach. I wanted to talk to people about their trauma. I wanted to talk to people about business. I wanted to talk to people about life. Like, I just wanted to do everything. And then it came to a point where there was one specific thing, Natalie, that you always talk about. And you know what really brought it to light? It was a podcast that I did with you and Halima.
Okay.
And it was talking about vision. And Halima says, why is vision so important? And the light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, man, I've been talking about vision for such a long time.
Yeah.
But if you don't have clear vision, you will perish. The word says it.
Yeah.
Without clear vision, the people will perish. So when I think about clarity, I think about clarity in the vision. Where do you want to be 10 years from now? Where do you want your business to be 20 years from now? And vision, clear vision, gives you a target to aim for, or else you're shooting every which way and you're not hitting anything. You think about, being in a field. There was this movie that I was watching. I think it was Game of Thrones, not a movie. And the brother is shooting the arrows. I love Game of Thrones. And they're shooting the arrows everywhere. And the sister just comes down, pull it, shoots it, and it aims right down to the middle. It's like she knew where the target was. She aimed directly, like she had this passion and intensity that I'm going to take it right there down to the middle. That's what the vision does. The vision says, this is the target. I'm moving in this direction. So clarity gives you a direction to move in. And it really refines your purpose. It refines the purpose of your business. You're not doing 20 different things. You're not doing a masterclass just because everybody else is doing a masterclass. What is the purpose of your masterclass?
And I think that's the part about it, because so many people are putting out content, and it's no shade to anybody, but it's like, but why?
But why?
I know a lot of times for a bottom line, I need to make this amount of money, X, Y, and Z. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just like, first thing I think was good that you said too about, with finding clarity with really what you were really talking about with vision. But here's the key part about it is you started by operating in what you're good at.
Yes.
Because the thing about it too is a lot of times we want to do a lot of great stuff, but you won't know what your focus is sometimes until you start.
Yeah.
Like for me, of course, I have different brands attached to me, right, in my business. But it took me really going out to bake cakes, to sell dinners, to doing catering, to doing this, to realize that I love doing private dinner parties. But it took me a while to get there. But guess what? Acknowledge where you are. And as you're working, find the clarity. Say, hey, you know what? This is where I want to go, but I might have to do ABC before I get to D. So while I'm waiting to get to D, in the meantime, during ABC, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be intentional. I'm only want to do this for like 6 months. When you get the release to do the next part, because sometimes there's certain things to learn in those smaller things of uncertainty, because you know that you're good at this, but it takes a while to find your niche. Like I think too is just like, when you're really operating your purpose, sometimes your purpose changes, right? So for me at the time with doing cakes, that was cool. I made some money off doing that. But the next, I realized that, hey, I want to start doing food. But then when I got to teaching, it was such a dope opportunity because I never knew I had to cook all this food to realize that I love coaching young people.
Oh my gosh.
But the thing about it is, if I would have never had a focus of really working with food in different capacities, I would have never reached that level of working with young people. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say I'm so proud of my young people, like most of them have their own business. And they're living life to the fullest. And it's crazy because we talk about so many amazing things, But because I went through what I went through with moving here to here to here to here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to help them focus in. So another thing is when you are learning about what your focus and your passion is, sometimes your story is meant to help somebody else. So when you may meet somebody in your field and they just need help, you can
Yeah.
rely on your personal experience because you actually operated in that and say, hey, fam, you're really good, but let me help you focus a little bit more on the area that I really see that you're gifted
Mm-hmm.
at. And it's just like people will fall into your path because I have people like that. I've been blessed to cook for so many. It's crazy. This past 3 years, I've been able to cook for so many different business coaches, which is of all people I cook for, they're mainly business
I
and
know.
wealth coaches. And it's just like, but I learned something from everybody, from Dr.
Yeah.
Jewel, from my
Yeah.
homegirl, even to like Tiana Von Johnson. I'm working on her book right now too, The Millionaire Mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Also to like Dr. Stacey, like all these people I'm going to cook for. It's so dope because I'm like, wow, like I'm still operating in my purpose and my gift by doing
Mm-hmm.
food,
Mm-hmm.
but my gift has made so much room for me that I'm getting the knowledge that
Ooh.
I need for
Yes.
free.
Yes.
Like, and don't get me wrong,
Yes.
I buy that merchandise. I'm saying I buy that merchandise. But it's just
But you
like
get access.
I get access to the
That's what.
personal moments.
That's right.
Where it's like I'm not just a client, like I'm in their
Yes.
house, like really cooking for these
Yes.
people, and I'm
Yes.
able to really have personal conversations with
Yep.
them. But it took me operating in my gift and finding the clarity and finding the focus and being open.
Come on.
Sometimes what happens is too, we're not open enough to really receive correction. And sometimes correction is very, very hard because I'm like stubborn, right? And I know
Mm-hmm.
that part about me. So, but what I'll do is if somebody gives me advice about something, I'm gonna hear you at least and let it marinate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
let it marinate. I'm not gonna respond right away because my response may come off as I'm not being coachable. So
Mm-hmm.
I know let me just sit and marinate on it because what happened is too is this person has a very, very valid perspective
Mm-hmm.
and they see things differently from me. So let me take a look at what they're saying to me because I may really need to hear this information. But once again, when you don't have clarity of mind,
Come
when you're
on.
not taking time in the morning to really work on yourself, when you're not doing personal development, you think you it.
Listen, I got to get a pen and paper because you giving gems, and I got to write this stuff down. Like y'all not gonna do this to me today, okay? Ooh.
But no,
Listen.
it's the truth
Ooh.
though. I think sometimes too, it's just that it's very hard, especially like I'm a Leo. Leo's are stubborn. That's just that we are. But I don't make that an excuse. That's not gonna be my
Yes.
excuse. Oh,
Yes.
that's how my sign is, or that's how I was raised, or that's how this was. It don't matter what your past is. Who cares about your past when it's like what's your today looking like? Is your day looking like it's filled with joy? Are you happy with the way
Mm-hmm.
how you're living? And for me, like I'm happy about a lot of stuff, but there's some stuff I want to increase. Like one of my
Mm-hmm.
goals is I manifest $50,000 in each of my storehouses. So, for example, is Cash App is a storehouse, Venmo is a storehouse, Bank of America is a storehouse. So I have about 8 of them. So the thing about it is too is the reason why I do have a lot of accounts is because I'm manifesting what I want in there, and it's not just for me because I want to help more people out. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to use the resources that I'm given to help other people out. Like I had this one student who had to drop out of college because she didn't have the money. If I had that 30 G's, I'm like, fam, don't worry about it. Stay in school. Don't worry about it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Look, we got to pause here and recap what you just said because you said a lot of fabulous things and y'all need to be taking notes because if y'all not, y'all just wasting this valuable information and we just going to use it and grow, but we don't want to grow by ourselves. All right. So you said you cannot be willing to get to great if you don't go through the good first. You have to be willing to go from mediocre to average to good, then
Yeah,
great. And some people don't put the
that's
time
good.
in to be good at something before they're
Yeah,
actually an expertise at something.
that's
They
good.
expect to come into entrepreneurship knowing what they know, and then they set themselves up. I'm an expert. Let me charge $5,000 for my services. Boo boo! You not no expert. You just good at something. This is just your natural way of
That's
being.
so good.
But you gotta fine tune the skill. You gotta do it
Humble
over
yourself
and
and
over.
learn.
Humble thyself. It says it takes you 10,000 hours to be a master at something. Have you done 10,000 hours in anything? That's
That's good.
causing you a lot of stress because you're thinking you're supposed to be great when you're only good. Take your time, pace yourself. The second thing you said
That
is
was good. You just ad libbed on that. That was good right there. That abracadabra rap
you
that
said
you
that.
said. That's good.
Then the second thing you said was everybody doesn't have the ability to give you critique. You know you're stubborn, but you also know that people have to have two things: access to you and authority in your life. They got to
That's
be
good.
able to have a relationship, or you have to be able to show me that you are an authority figure in this particular field. Anybody
That's
just can't
good.
step to you and
That's
tell you you
true.
need to do X, Y, and Z. Why do I need to take your advice? Who are
That's so
you?
true.
Who are
That's
you
good.
personally to me, and who are you in your industry? And people forget that, because that's what's causing them stress. They let their broke friends tell them they should be
That's
doing X.
good.
You letting your broke friend tell you how to make money. You broke. Why are you telling me how to make money? You
And there's
letting
no
your
shade in that. There's no
No, it's
shade
no
in that.
shade. No shade at all. But check your bank account, because your bank account is less than mine. But you're telling me how to make money. How about you do it for yourself first and then show me how to do it? And the third thing, you didn't say this, but I'm gonna put this in there because I heard it this morning. We do not hold ourselves accountable. We
Yeah.
want to be accountable to everybody else. We want to say everybody else should be doing X, Y, and Z. Baby, how about you do it? You're not going to
Yeah.
tell me to establish a morning routine when you don't have a morning routine. You're not
Yeah.
going to tell me to manifest something when you only manifest in destruction all the time. You
That's
have to be
good.
able to say, you know what? I'm going to hold myself accountable. No, boo, you're not going to eat those Cheetos. And I'm talking to myself right now. You're not going to eat those Cheetos and then come up here and talk about you a health coach. Health what? You're
That's
not no
good.
coach, because you can't keep yourself accountable. Now, if you're saying, hey, you can eat this every once in a while, but some people are so strict on other people, and they're not using that same discipline that they
On
have to
themselves.
critique other people on themselves. And if we would just
That's
turn
good.
that around, we won't have time to look at the industry. We won't have time to compare ourselves, because we're going to be so busy going from good to great that we will surpass the people that we keep thinking should be ahead of us or whatever, because we've
That's
been
true.
working and fine-tuning ourselves. We're going to have less stress in our life.
And you're in the only, and this is the thing about too, is when it comes to comparing, I never compare myself to other people.
Mm-mm.
Like I did that one time.
Me too.
Okay, this is the perfect example because we went to the same church, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when our pastors were really big on entrepreneurship, right? And so at a church that was this, it wasn't a big church,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is too is like if you got one cake baker, two is too much.
Yeah.
But what,
I
two
know.
is too much. Whoa, you selling cakes now? Whoa, you on my turf, fam? Fam, you on my turf? You on
Like,
my
this is my
turf?
church.
What you mean? But the thing that was the best example for me because I'm like, yo, we make totally two different things.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
had three cake bakers.
Yep.
So it's crazy. But when you start thinking about stuff like that, like you can't worry about you can't compare yourself to other people because everybody's story is different. I can
Everybody.
learn from you and teach you something, but I don't ever have to worry about there's so many chefs doing a lot of razzle dazzle out here with the flowers on stuff and all that stuff like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
And it's cool if that's what you do, but guess what? I'm not gonna be like, oh, let me copy this person, do that. I'm like, oh wow, that's really first I'm gonna comment on stuff like, yo, that's so dope. That's really dope what you're doing. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna share it next because guess what? I want people to share my stuff. So let me show into that gift right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
three is like it's nothing for me to support somebody. Like people are so gun ho on being the next, this,
Mhm.
the next this. Just be you
Just be
authentically,
you.
and everything else will flow because you're authentically you. And a lot of times when I go in different spaces, I don't try to be nobody else. And one thing, I don't try to be in people's face all the time. Like when you naturally operate in your purpose and your gift, the people that need to come to you that you're trying to run to will come to you.
Yes.
The people that like even too when I started cooking for Dr. Stacia, which I love her so much, I had said to Dr. Joy, hey, I want to cook for Dr. Stacia. That was in October. I thought the lady forgot about me. But you know what?
Mhm.
I never pressed her. I never pressed her. And then
Good.
I got a call from her assistant saying, hey, I want you to come cook for this event. But that took maybe like 5 months. But guess what? In the
Wow.
meantime, I was still working. I
Wow.
wasn't taking it personal. I'm just like, so when I got the call, I'm like, wow, sometimes you have to make the invitation, show yourself, and then let your quality work speak. So, because sometimes people are watching without watching you. There's some people that are watching your social media page. There's some people who are fact checking you with their friends. The fact, like, there's some clients who look through my Instagram to see who I've cooked for, and then they're like, oh, I want to support this dude. I've been seeing you do this. I said, you have? I ain't seen you like nothing. I ain't see you follow nothing. But it don't matter because guess what? You be consistent producing the content. Be
Mhm.
consistent working in your gift because everything else will follow.
Wow.
Everything else will follow. You just be authentically you. get you some clarity. Sit down sometimes. If you want to watch TV, be like, nah, I can't watch TV right now. I gotta
It's so
start manifesting
accountable.
something.
Yes.
I gotta start writing I gotta start writing my goals down. Nah, you know, I don't
Mhm.
like the way I don't like living paycheck to paycheck. Let me write my goals
Like
down.
with
I don't
paycheck
like
to
living gig to gig. Let me write my goals down. And it seems like, you know, it's impossible. Like you're just writing fa la 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 la. Like that is not gonna be it, but
paycheck.
you
La,
have
la,
to
la,
be
la, la, la.
it's the truth because sometimes it seems like you know how you talk to somebody, it's just like gibberish. Like, I don't believe this. I ain't gonna be no millionaire. I
Come
ain't gonna make
on.
10K a day. And it's so easy to say what you can't do, but sometimes you have to be so consistent and passionate, even when you don't feel like
Mhm.
it's gonna happen to you.
Oh, that's
It
good.
will, because sometimes I didn't feel that way. Like there's certain things I feel like I couldn't afford, and now I'm
Mhm.
traveling the world. You know what I'm saying? So like certain
Yes,
things I
I do
thought
get
was
it.
so far fetched for me, but it's like it don't always have to happen the way you want it to happen. All you
It
got to do is
doesn't.
be consistent with writing your goals down, having come to Jesus moments with yourself, read a book, you know,
Read a
network at
book.
events.
My gosh.
You know, go on Instagram, DM people, hey, I would love to connect with you. I love what you're doing in the food industry. I love what you're doing in the coaching industry. I love to
Mhm.
work with you. I love to maybe even shadow you for a day.
Yeah,
And you'd be surprised how many people would want to do that because it's just like that takes guts to do stuff like that.
it does. I don't know if y'all are taking notes. I'm gonna tell y'all one more time. Y'all better start writing this
I'm
stuff
gonna
down
watch
because
this
I'm
again.
writing my stuff. I'm writing it down because I'm like, this is really, really good. You said, don't be the next, be the first.
Yeah. You
Be
be
the
razzle
first.
dazzle and stuff. I like that part because I'm like, man,
I'm
I said
like
that.
that. Yes, you gotta go back and listen. You like, you don't need to be the next. Everybody looking out to be the next. Nah, be the first. I'm like, yes, I don't need to be the next ET or the next whatever motivational speaker. I need to be the first me.
Yeah.
That is so good. And that takes the stress off of you because now you don't have to copy somebody else because you're never going to be better at being them than
Yeah.
them.
That's good.
Never.
That's
Never,
good.
ever, ever. They will always be better at them than you would. So you might as well be the best you that you can be and operate in excellence and integrity at all times. I love, love, love that you said that. Listen, I was thinking as you were talking because you're saying it takes some time to manifest that thing. And I remember in 2017 when God said, you know, you're going to be an author. And
Mhm.
I didn't have anything to write. I had nothing. And he said, I need you to sit down and every morning visualize yourself being an author. Now, if you grew up in church like I did, I know you did, all those visualization stuff, they be like, it's new age. You don't need to be doing that. Da, 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 da. Where's that in the Bible? And I was like, you know what? I'm hearing the Holy Spirit. I don't care what people are saying at this point. I'm going to sit down and do that. And
Yeah.
I visualized, you know, what I would do, how I would feel when I became, you know, #1 best-selling author. And
Mhm.
years passed from that first time that I visualized until I first wrote my book in 2020. And lo and behold, I was not the best-selling author that time. I sold a lot of books, but I wasn't the #1 best-selling author. It
Mhm.
wasn't until I wrote my second book, it became
Come on,
Amazon.
second book.
Listen, Amazon's #1 new release. Okay. It went to #1 on the new release list, and it went to number 21 on the bestsellers list.
I have your
I
book
was
up here too.
a
That's about to show the book. My
bestseller.
bad. I'm trying. I know I
No,
got
you
it up here. I know I got the first one.
and I became, you know, that's the children's book, The Travel Adventures of Bella and Anna. Do We Have to Move? That became #1 and number
Dope.
21 on the Amazon bestseller list. But my son comes to me and he said, Mom, you moving up in the game. You were #1 new release, but you're gonna be #1 on that bestseller list soon enough. Then I end up collaborating, did a what you call it, a coloring book after that. Didn't do anything about it. I just released it. I wasn't like pressed for it. And then I did a collaboration with these amazing 15 other amazing moms. And we finally became in 2021, at the end of 2021, I think it was November, Amazon's #1 bestseller. Okay,
Dope.
that's why I have that thing on Facebook, like #1
So how
bestseller
many
in
how many books you got now?
collaboration.
How many books is it?
I have 4 books right now.
So it took four, right?
4.
It took four times, four
4
tries,
times, 4 tries
four tries within a matter of 1 year.
within the mat. Listen, I didn't even think about that. Within a matter of 1 year.
Even it takes seasons. So there's 4 seasons in a month. So every season is going to be different in your life. So in
Every
every
season.
season, you have attitude of gratitude and you produce, not trying to compete with somebody else, but just
Mhm.
operating naturally in your gift.
Operate naturally. My God, I didn't even think about that. It was a year. But the time that I started visualizing was 2017. I started visualizing this thing in
which is
2017.
another 4 years.
Yes, I started manifesting this thing before I even wrote anything. Before I typed any
Wow.
words, I started visualizing where I would be, and it came to pass. And that's not the end. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm Amazon #1 and I'm done. No, God said, and so I have to follow after. He #1 on New York Times bestseller list.
And it's already done.
And that's already done. It's
Yeah.
already done. So when it comes to this manifestation thing, you got to remember to pace yourself. A lot of us get stressed out because we want to run before we could
Yeah.
actually crawl. Do
Yeah.
you know how to crawl in your field? Let's work
Yeah.
on crawling first.
Yeah.
Then we can start standing up, then we can start walking, then we can start running. But you're going from just coming into the business to running, and you don't see the 6 figures in the first 5 months, and you're like, I'm done. I can't do this no more. It's
Man,
not
listen. I seen a loss of 6 figures. How about that? I saw a loss. I saw a lot of losses.
listen.
But the thing about it too is like I never worried about it because at the end of the day, when you know who your source is, you know that you're gonna always get it back.
You always.
Like you're just count them as seeds. So things that I lose, I count them as seeds sown. So
Mm-hmm.
I write that number down. When I've done
Mm-hmm.
all this cooking for some people for free, I write that number down. How much would I would charge them? Let me claim this seed back. I sold
Mm-hmm.
this 5,000 here, this 10K there, because sometimes your skill set is your seed. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes your skill set is worth more than what you have physically to sow.
Listen.
So if my skill set is coaching at $500 an hour, and I did how many people I coached throughout my life, I'm gonna write that seed down. Like, no, this
Write
is
it
my
down.
seed. I'm gonna get
Mm-hmm.
it back, and it's okay. So we just kind of want to go over some things we talked about. We talked about definitely about starting the morning routine. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, start a morning routine. And you know what the thing about it too is like just start with a minute a day. If
Yep.
just start with a minute. Don't make it hard.
Don't
Grow
make
to
it
an
hard.
hour because now it's at like 3 hours of manifestation. I'm not there yet. I'm like at maybe at
It
I
takes
got 20
time
minutes
though.
here, 20 minutes here. But create what works for you in your life because
Mhm.
for
Yes.
some people you might only have 5 minutes a day.
Yep.
But as you start to really grow and stretch your life, you'll start to see, wow, I need to give myself 10 minutes. Okay,
Yep.
20, 30. And then two is after you do get create your create some clarity moments in your life.
Yes.
And in your day, start looking for those things that you need to have clarity on. Like write those things down. What do I want clarity for in my life?
Mm-hmm.
Is it my finances? Is it your time? Is it your job? Is it your because you can still be successful at a job and a business at the same time.
Yep.
Some people don't want a business. You want to be successful at your job.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you. Create
Whatever works.
clarity. What else did we have to kind of really go over again, Natalie?
Preparation.
That's good. Preparation.
Yeah, read and research, and as well as holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
So that's 4 things right there.
And that's enough.
That's enough. And we
I,
dropped some more stuff in between, but we got all April.
to talk some more.
Yes.
So guys, we want to thank you guys for coming on live and just some of us for this hour.
Hmm.
Definitely to share it, like it. Tell us like in the comments. Tell us what you got from this. Tell us what you
Yeah.
learned. Tell
Yep.
us any feedback because we want
What
to
are
hear
those
from you because
takeaways?
we want what topics you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's certain things sometimes if you never closed mouths don't get fed. So if you got something that you want to talk about with us and you want us to address it, let's do it.
Do
And
it.
this is gonna be available on Instagram, on YouTube, and on both of our Facebook pages. So like and share it. We're
Yeah.
going live next week at 12. We was like 3 minutes late. We're trying to maneuver all of the
I know. We'll be
platforms,
talking
but
about next week between 12 and 12:05.
catch us. All right, so thank you guys for watching,
Wait,
guys. We
no,
appreciate
Chef,
you.
you can't go before formally introducing ourselves. Like, how they gonna work with us?
Oh,
If
that's
they
dope. That's dope. Okay, you go first. Let me see what you're gonna say. I'm gonna try to
well,
I'm gonna try to
listen.
compete with you.
Okay, you so silly. Listen, if you guys need clarity in your business, your vision, or any idea that you have, listen, holla at your girl. I am the clarity coach. I am a visionary strategist, and I help people gain clarity in their call to the marketplace. So we deal with issues like your mission, your vision, your purpose. What is your call? What is your innate, natural gifting that God has given you so that you can show up in the marketplace and be the solution? Then we dive into your clients. Who are they? Who is your client avatar? What is your target audience? And we're not looking at the physical features. Like, I don't do target audience is a beautiful Black woman with nice blonde and black hair. No. We talk about the heart of the matter.
That's
Who
good.
are they? What's their problems and how are you positioned to solve them? And then we also dive into a lot of other things, but brand story pitch. Everybody loves a story. Story in the marketplace is like music to
That's
someone's
good.
ears.
That's good.
Music, when you have your lyrics and your music, it doesn't need permission to enter into your subconscious. The same thing goes with the story. You're able to tell people who you are and how you show up without them being like, ooh, she's trying to sell me something. No, you're just giving your story. You're naturally telling people who you are and how you're positioned to help them solve their problems. So if you're ready to gain clarity, holla at your girl. It took me a month to gain clarity on my life and my call in the marketplace, but I got this down to a science. 2 hours with my C3 clarity framework, and y'all will be good to go.
I mean, I'm next after that.
You're
I'm
next.
just a chef. I just cook, y'all.
No, you're lying. Don't do that to them.
I just cook. No, what I do is I help people find out their purpose in life and really grow through that. The area I'm focused on right now is food service professionals. If you want to take your business from 7 plates in your house, ain't nothing wrong with that. I was there. So now, how do you turn it into from a $20 plate to a 125 a plate? That's
Ooh,
all reality for you, and it's a big change from having a right mentorship in the culinary arts field. Do you have an LLC? Do you know how to get funding? These are all real questions that we talk about with my coaching. So if you're looking to really grow your business as well as your assets
mhm.
through learning how to manage capital through Shopify, how to do cryptocurrency, we talk about these things through my platform because we want to help you gain the access so you're not burnt out, but you're actually living and enjoying life authentically through purpose. I'm trying to sound as good as Natalie because she was going
Sound
in. She
great.
was like the C4 or the five. I'm trying to get with it. But the
C3.
whole goal is to help you find your purpose because once you know your purpose, you save a lot of time battling things back and forth. Once you know your purpose, you can achieve anything you want to achieve. Nothing is unattainable unless you don't want to put the work in. I'm here if you're ready to put the work in. I'm tough because I'm tough on myself. So I wouldn't ask you to do anything I'm not doing myself. So listen, if you really take your business to the next level,
Listen.
especially in the food service industry, if you learn more about food photography, so even to all my guys that work for me, they learn how to balance everything from the food to taking photos to creating a whole ambiance and the experience. How to really leverage social media. If you're not on social media, you're not making money. I'm
Mm.
just being real. You have to be on social media in this age where you want to really promote certain businesses. So if you're looking to learn and you want to be stressed out and you really want to really just take things to the next level, let's talk and have a really honest conversation about how
Mm.
to grow. That was good.
That was awesome. Only thing I would add is if you want to create plates with purpose, holla at Chef
Come
J.
on, place with purpose.
Plates with
All
purpose.
right,
That's
fam. So we're
it.
gonna log out on here. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Yes. Bye, y'all.